Today we're at case 6, World War I Imperial Germany and the rise of the Nazis. I'll begin up here with two great photographs. One signed by Ernst Udet, who was the second top ace. The other one is signed by Max Immelmann, who created a lot of defensive and offensive moves in World War I. The Imperial helmets I always like because they're just spectacular looking pieces. The ones with the spike are mostly infantry, the ball's artillery, and the mortarboard is heavy cavalry. But if you're going to be the elite of the elite, you want to be the Death Head Regiment. Mostly made up of aristocrats, barons, and counts. Now obviously after 2 years of fighting in World War I, these helmets proved not to be worked in the trenches. So the Germans developed the best helmet, the Stadelheim. They put horns on each side so a plate like this could be added to it for primarily machine gunners or snipers. The rarest of the German helmets is this one down here. The Germans made only 4,000 for their allies, the Ottomans. The Ottomans are Muslim Turks, so they pray 5 times a day. The removal of the brow makes it easier for them to put their head on the dirt and not take their helmet off. Other interesting things in here are this particular uniform was a complete aviator's uniform, very much like what Baron von Richthofen would have worn. The medals are all original too, to include the Blue Axe. As we move to this side, you'll also see a variety of weapons and medals from World War I. Once we get into the 30s, the rise of the Nazis, we have some interesting uniforms. This is an SA uniform. Hitler abolished the SA in 1934, so these are extremely hard to find. Political uniform with the blue piping is Orts level, which would be a county commissioner or a county representative. Hitler did invent, or his operation did have what they refer to as the Schutzstaffel, the SS. This is an early Allgemeine SS hat. Eventually he would transform all the SA soldiers into the SS, creating a Waffen-SS. Perhaps one of the most interesting pieces in the museum is the white hat. This is the hat that belonged to Arthur Seyss-Inquart. Seyss-Inquart was one of the top 20 Nazis. At Nuremberg, he would be the 9th man executed out of 12. His crimes were primarily against the Dutch people as the Reich Commissioner of the Netherlands. However, in 1938, Seyss would be the one who orchestrated the annexing of Austria called the Anschluss. He did that by convincing the Austrian government to vote Hitler in using this ballot. And as you can see, do we want Adolf Hitler? Yes or no? No wonder he got almost 100% of the votes. But however, he wasn't smart enough not to get hung for his crimes. I do have his original hat. It is featured in this book. And I also have one of his private Mein Kampfs called The Wedding Issue that would be handed out to his guests or his friends. He signs this particular one. Another interesting fact in the museum are these medals. My mother's uncle was Joseph Goebbels' doctor in the 30s, and in 1936 Hermann Goering was in an automobile accident. He administered a slight operation, and for that Hitler personally awarded him that medal, which is called the Knight's Cross to the Red Cross. It's given to doctors in a peacetime setting. All right, now we'll move on to case number 7.